Okay, good evening, boys and girls. Let us start. Last time we discussed about various causes of shortage of water resources in India, and today we shall start discussion on conservation measures. Okay, conservation and management of water resources in India. So I will present. Okay, I will present now. So as I told you, we shall start discussion on conservation and management of water resources in India. Okay, so here multipurpose river projects. Okay, so these projects are one of the most important measures for conserving and managing water resources in India. And so in the beginning we find one signpost question here. Okay, so let us wait somebody joining. Okay, see, we have a signpost question here. How do we conserve and manage water? Okay, somebody's coming. So here, let us read this area. Since ancient times, we have been constructing sophisticated hydraulic structures like dams, built of stone rubble, reservoirs or lakes, that is artificial lakes, okay, embankments and canals for irrigation. So these are the different methods of these conserving and managing water resources in the ancient time. And still, okay, and still in modern India, this building of dams in river basins is one of the most important measures for conserving and managing water resources in India. Okay, how were the ancient kings these conserve and manage water is given here in this section, in this box, these hydraulic structures in ancient India. So let us have a glance of this section. Okay, so in the 1st century BC, Sringavarapura near Allahabad had sophisticated water harvesting system channeling the flood water of river Ganga. Okay, see here. In the 1st century BC, Sringavarapura near Allahabad has sophisticated water harvesting system channeling the flood water of the river Ganga. So it is like this. Let us see. Here, this is a flooded area. Let us say this is a flooded area. Okay, so this is a flooded area, and here, and this is a dry land, let us say. Just let us suppose this is a dry land. Dry land. Okay, somebody is coming. Do you see my screen? See here what they were doing was that, so from the flooded area, so this is a flooded area, okay, maybe because of heavy rainfall. This is a flooded area, and this is a dry land. From the flooded area to the dry land, they constructed these canals, okay, to drain the flood water towards the dry land, just to drain away the flood water from here. Okay, a canal was constructed to drain away the water from the flooded area to the dry land area, to irrigate the dry land area. So this was the technique used by the ancient kings, and such type of canal is known as inundation canal. Okay, such type of canal was known as inundation canal. Then let us proceed. Okay, so another point. During the time of Chandragupta Maurya, dams, lakes, and irrigation systems were extensively built just to conserve and manage water. Okay, then we have evidences of sophisticated irrigation works have also been found in Kalinga, that is in Orissa, Nagarjuna Konda in Andhra Pradesh, Banur in Karnataka, Kolhapur in Maharashtra. So these are the different ways, okay, how the ancient people these conserve and manage water resources. Again, another point is given here, that is in the 11th century, Bhopal Lake, one of the largest artificial lakes of its time, was built. And the last point is here, in the 14th century, the tank in House Khas, Delhi, was constructed by Iltutmish for supplying water to Sri Fort area. Okay, so these are the evidences. These are the evidences how were the ancient kings and people conserve and manage water. Okay, and now let us go to this.
Sir,
yes,
sir,
yes.
can you explain the second ways of conserve water?
Second one, which one? Second ways means, what do you say?
Ancient time.
Ancient time.
Ancient people conserve water.
Actually, see, these ancient kings, okay, they used to construct dams. They used to construct hydrological structure. Here refers to, they used to construct dams made of stone and mud. They also constructed artificial lakes, and they also did this embankment of these streams and rivers. They also constructed canals, okay, for diversion, for irrigation. Okay, and so one example is here in the 1st century BC, that is before the birth of Jesus Christ. This Sringabherapura, actually this is the name of a place near Allahabad. Okay, there in that place, sophisticated water harvesting system channeling the flood water of river Ganga was done. See, when the Ganga river was in flood, So nearby this bank, nearby will be flooded areas like this. Okay, see, let us say this is a flooded area caused by Ganga river, and those ancient people dug out Inundation Canal to drain away the flooded water towards the dry land areas, and this was one of the techniques to manage water resources, and such type of canal is known as Inundation Canal. Okay, and the other points are almost the same. See, during the Chandragupta Maurya period also, dams, artificial lakes, irrigation system, canals were constructed. So these are the different evidences. Again, another example is that in Madhya Pradesh, okay, Bhopal Lake was constructed in the 11th century just to conserve and manage water, just to store water. So these are the different examples. Clear or not? Any other question? Okay. So let us proceed. Then see, what are dams and how do they help us in conserving and managing water? So we have learned that dams are one of the most important measures for conserving and managing water resources till date in India. Okay, then what are dams? Actually, definition of a dam is given here. A dam is a barrier across flowing water that obstructs direct or retards the flow, often creating a reservoir, lake, or impoundment. Actually, it is like this. See, this is a slough, and the river is flowing down here. And if we construct a barrier here, okay, if we construct a wall here, a barrier here, so this barrier is known as a dam. Okay, so this barrier is known as a dam. And this actually, when we construct a barrier here, then the water flow coming from the mountainous area will be obstructed, and water will be stored here, and so it becomes a reservoir. Okay, so this is known as reservoir. Reservoir. Okay, but nowadays actually this water body, okay, this water body is also known as a dam. Actually, it is written here. See, dam refers to the reservoir rather than the structure. Actually, the actual definition of dam is that a dam is a barrier across the flowing water. Actually, in geography, so this barrier is known as a dam. But for the general people, see, we mainly refer to the reservoir rather than the structure. Here, structure means the wall, the barrier. Okay, we nowadays refers to the reservoir as a dam. And so most dams have a section called spillway. Okay, over which or through which it is intended that water will flow either intermittently or continuously. Just to control the flow of water, we have a section in a dam called spillway or wire. See this area. See this area. This area is known as spillway or wire. And when the river is in flood, so we have to open the floodgate, and so water will be flowing down, so thus controlling this flowing of the water. And this section of the dam is known as a spillway or wire. Okay, And dams are classified according to structure, then intended purpose means for what purpose the dam has been constructed, or height. Okay, so on this basis dams are classified. Now let us see, based on structure and the material used. Okay, here based on the structure and material used, dams are classified as timber dams, that is dams made of this timber, wood. Then embankment dams or masonry dams, the dams made of stones and mud. Okay, with several subtypes are also there, several subtypes also there, but that is not so important here. And according to height, dams can be categorized as large dams, major dams, or alternatively we have this low dam, medium height dam, high dam. So this is according to the height of the structure. Okay, so these are the different types of dams. Any question from your side? Any question?
No, sir.
Okay, let us proceed. Yes?
Is dam pure for drinking?
What?
Is dam pure for drinking?
Yes, actually for different purposes. Okay, see, the dam water is used for drinking after processing. It is used for irrigating the field. It is also used for generating hydroelectricity. Sometimes it is also used for this tourism. Okay, so it becomes a tourist spot. Okay, so that will be discussed, and that is why these dams are also known as multi-purpose, okay, projects. Now let us see. So again, let me read the question. This: how do dams help us in conserving and managing water? How do dams help in conserving and managing water? Answer of this question is given here. Okay, see, dams were traditionally built to impound rivers and rainwater that could be used later to irrigate agricultural fields. See, when there is excess water, the excess water is stored in the dams, that is in the reservoirs, and that will be used when we are needed. When there is no rainfall, then we can use the water in different ways, as I told you. Okay, as I told you, say dams can be, the water can be used for irrigation, okay, then for electricity generation, then for water supply of these domestic households and industrial uses. Last time also we learned that industries use water for cooling the machinery, so that water is also provided by dams. Then dams are constructed to control the flood and for recreation also. Okay, see, dams provide a scenic beauty, and so a tourist spot can be developed, tourism can be promoted. Okay, and so if the dam is too big, then inland navigation can be done, transportation, okay, on the water it can be done, and fish breeding, okay, fish farming and fish breeding also can be done in the dam water, in the reservoir. That means dam has different, okay, uses, different purposes are there, and that is why dams are now referred to as multi-purpose projects, where the many uses of impounded water are integrated with one another. So these are the different ways, the different uses of dam, and in this way this water resource is conserved and managed, okay, by constructing a dam. Say for example here the Satluj Bias River Basin. In the Satluj Bias River Basin, Bhakra Nangal project, water is being used for hydropower production and irrigation purpose. Similarly, we have this Hirakud Dam, Hirakud project in the Mahanadi River, that is in Orissa, integrate conservation of water with the flood control. Now let us see the location. Okay, so this is the map you will find in this chapter 3, and see here it shows the major rivers and the dams, and I have to say that this map, okay, is the most important part of this chapter 3, because as I told you before, in the CBSE exam, okay, map items will be asked from this chapter 3, and so you have to examine this map very carefully. Now let us see the location of Bhakra Nangal. See, this is the location of Bhakra Nangal. Okay, then Hirakud dam is here. So different locations of different dams are given here. Okay, Tehri is there, Naraura is there. So many dams are located here. In the examination, either identification or location of these important multipurpose dams projects will be asked in the exam. Okay, so you have to examine this map very carefully. Here we have Rana Pratap Sagar, then Gandhi Sagar, so many dams are here, then Sadar Sarovar. Okay, so these are the different dams you have to see. Then see, here one important point is here. Jawaharlal Nehru proudly proclaimed.
Sir, can you show in the book?
Which one? What do you say? I could not hear properly. Yes?
The map, can you show in full? Can you show in the full that map? We'll see screenshot.
Okay. Then actually you want to make it smaller? Full screen mode?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, here there is no place zoom is display. Okay, see, I will send this map in the WhatsApp group, okay, so that you can have a look.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. No problem.
Let us proceed then. Jawaharlal Nehru proudly proclaimed the dams as the temples of modern India. The reason being that it would integrate development of agriculture and the village economy with rapid industrialization and the growth of urban economy. Actually, one question also asked, okay, in the previous years, say 5-6 years back, that from this statement, okay, that Jawaharlal Nehru proudly proclaimed the dams as the temples of modern India. Why? Okay, the answer is is as follows. The reason being that it would integrate development of agriculture and the village economy with rapid industrialization and the growth of urban economy. So dams are known as temples of modern India because dams integrate the rural economy with the urban economy. See, as you know that dams provide water for irrigating the field, and say if there is irrigation, then the productivity will be increased. Okay, and when there is increase in the agricultural production, then these agricultural crops or agricultural products will be supplying as a raw material for the industries located in the urban areas. So in this way, the economy of the villages, okay, are integrated with the economy of the cities, and that is why dams are known as temples of modern India. Okay, any question, any confusion?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Then see, we have learned the multiple purposes, the multiple uses of dams, so many merits we have learned, but again we have disadvantages, demerits of dams are also there. So you see here, in recent years, multi-purpose projects and large dams have come under great scrutiny and opposition for a variety of reasons. So many people, NGOs and so many groups of people are reacting against the construction of multi-purpose dams projects. What are the reasons for this? Now let us see. Regulating and damming of rivers affect their natural flow, causing poor sediment flow and excessive sedimentation at the bottom of the reservoir, resulting in rockier stream. Okay, bats and poorer habitats for rivers aquatic life. So the problem is this. See, here we have the dam, and say this is the barrier, this is the dam. Okay, this is the dam, and the river is flowing down. And when the river is in flood, it carries so many loads. Okay, say pebbles, rock fragments, sands are carried down by the river water, and those boulders, then sands, will be deposited on the floor of the reservoir, on the floor of the dam, and hence the surface, okay, the bed of the reservoir, this becomes a rocky surface, and this affects the aquatic ecosystem. When there is so many rocks in the bed of the reservoir, then these plants cannot be grown, or that is the important food for the fish and the other or these organisms in the water. Okay, so that is one disadvantages of reservoir mentioned here. See, excessive sedimentation at the bottom. So when we block the water flow, then there will be settling down of the rocks, and because of that the stream becomes rockier. Okay, the stream will become rockier. Then there will be poor habitats in the river. Okay, the food for these marine organisms will be less, and that is why it affects the aquatic life, including fish. Then another point is that dams also fragment rivers, making it difficult for aquatic fauna to migrate, especially for spawning. Aquatic fauna here mainly refers to fish. Actually, see, when we block the river flow, then see some pieces. So this is the course of the river, and so here the water will flow down. Sometimes some fishes are used to move upstream, or they used to move downstream also for spawning. Okay, for spawning, sometimes they used to move upstream, they move downstream for spawning. But when we block the flowing of water, the flowing of river water, then the movement of the fish, the movement of the fauna, aquatic fauna, is blocked, and so spawning may not be there. spawning of those fishes, breeding of those fishes may not be there. So this is another problem okay, of the problems created by these dams. And see the reservoirs that are created on the floodplains also submerge the existing vegetation and the soil, leading to its decomposition over a period of time. So see here, actually let us say dams are constructed in the mountainous area like this. So these are the two mountains, and because of the dam here this section will be flooded, but here once trees were there, okay, villages also may be there, and those villages will be evacuated, and these trees will be submerged by these dam water. That is the point mentioned here. Okay, these reservoirs that are created on the floodplains also submerge existing vegetation and soil, leading to its decomposition over a period of time. Here, submergence. And even in the low-lying area also, okay, even in the plain area also, floodplain means the plain nearby the river bank. There also, if we construct a dam, then the flood plain will be submerged under the water. Okay, so these are the disadvantages of multipurpose river valley projects. Okay, disadvantages, demerits. And another disadvantage is given here. Okay, this construction of dam leads to large-scale displacement of local communities. That I told you that evacuation, okay, activities is there when we construct a dam. Okay, so that is the point mentioned here. Then so that is the map that we have already seen. And see here, why multipurpose projects, okay, have so many objections. What's that? Somebody is coming. Why different communities, NGOs, okay, are reacting against the objecting against the construction of dams? Okay, is again given here. Okay, because most of the dams are failed to achieve the purposes for which they were built. Dams have been built to control flood, to provide irrigation, to provide drinking water, for harnessing electricity, but sometimes those purposes are not fulfilled, and that is why so many objections are coming from different sections of the society. See here, let us read this area. Dams that were constructed to control floods have triggered floods due to sedimentation in the reservoir. Moreover, big dams have mostly been unsuccessful in controlling flood at the time of excessive rainfall. Yes, I told you dams are constructed for the purpose of controlling flood also. Sometimes dams are not able to control the flood at the same time due to sedimentation. Okay, at the bottom it causes flood. See, if there is so many sedimentation here, then the depth of the reservoir will become very, very shallow. If the bed is okay deposited by so many sediments, then it becomes very, very shallow, and because of that it cannot store large volume water, because the bottom is filled up with sediments, and that is why it causes sometimes flood in the low-lying area here. It causes flood here. And these floods, okay, not only devastated life, it kills it kills human beings and animals and property. It destroys the property also, but also cause extensive soil erosion. This flood not only kills human beings, animals, and destroys property, but also cause extensive soil erosion. That is another point against these multi-purpose projects. And sometimes, if dams are not constructed in the geologically hard areas, somebody is coming. If, on the other hand, if dams are constructed in the geologically weak areas, okay, then because of the weight of the water, there may be earthquake. Okay, these dam-induced earthquakes may be there sometimes, and that also kills people. So that is another point against the dam. Then it also causes, the flood water also causes waterborne diseases. Then there will be pests in the flood water. Then there may be pollution, okay, resulting from the excessive use of water by the industries. So all these points are against the construction of these multi-purpose projects. Okay, so in the end, I have to say that actually these dams have okay, on the one side we have so many this usefulness, so many merits are there. On the other hand, we have demerits, disadvantages are there. But when we compare the merits with the demerits, so merit sides are more, okay, advantages are more, and that is why we have to construct dams. Okay, so these are about dam. Any question from your side? And remember, okay, we have been learning dams, okay, or multi-purpose projects as a measure for conserving water resources. Okay, we have been learning dams as a measure for conserving and managing water. Any question? Any question? Do you hear me? Nobody is responding?
No question, sir.
No question. Okay, then let
sir.
us proceed. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then this next we have another important method, okay, for conserving water resources, that is known as rainwater harvesting. Do you know what rainwater harvesting is? Anybody? What is Yes, tell me, what is rainwater harvesting?
Saving rainwater for future use.
Okay, very good. That is collection and storing of water for future use. Okay, collection and storing of rainwater for future use. That is what we call rainwater harvesting. And this is another important measure for conserving and managing water resources. We can say this is an alternative. Rainwater harvesting is an alternative of this construction of dams. But actually it cannot be exactly an alternative, because dam has so many purposes. And see what are the different ways of this rainwater harvesting. What are the different methods of rainwater harvesting is given here. In the hill and the mountainous areas, in mountainous region, people build diversion channels like gulls or cools of western Himalayas for agriculture. Actually, these are simply that inundation canal. Okay, in the hill and the mountainous area, In the plain area it is known as inundation canal, but in the mountainous area actually river water is diverted. See, suppose this is a river flowing in the mountain, okay, and here a diversion channel. This is also done here also in the hills of Manipur, also in Churchampu also. See, this is a river flowing in the mountain, and here we are digging a diversion channel here, and this diversion channel will lead to our agriculture field, and here this field will be irrigated by this diversion channel. And these diversion channels are known as gulls or cools in the western Himalayas. Actually one one photograph also there. Here I think in the next page, see here, this one, actually see this tank is filled up with water by this gool or cool, by the diversion channel, okay. Say by a diversion channel water is carried and stored in this pond. This is an example. Then then another one, rooftop rainwater harvesting was commonly practiced to store drinking water, particularly in Rajasthan. So this is another technique, and here also we are doing it. So in the next page you will find the different ways of rooftop rainwater harvesting. Then in the floodplains of Bengal, people develop inundation canals. This is in the plain area, okay, good and cool in the mountainous area, and in the plain area we have inundation canals in Bengal, okay, to irrigate their fields. In the arid and semi-arid regions, agricultural fields were converted into rain-fed storage structure that allowed the water to stain and moisten the soil, like Khadins in Jaisalmer and Johats in other part of Rajasthan. So these Khadin, Johats, like this, see, here this is the agricultural field, okay, and they are using the agricultural field as these rainwater storage. Here we have to construct, make bunds, okay, different bunds are to be made, and when there is a rainfall, rainwater will be stored here. It is like this, see, here we have to make a bund, then see, then like this, see, okay. So here we have to construct bunds like this, see, here one bund, and here is another one, here is like this. So when there is rainfall, here rainwater will be collected, okay, rainwater will be collected, and this rainwater will be absorbed. These bunds will obstruct the flow of rainwater, and the rainwater will be absorbed in the underground, and hence the soil is moistened. Okay, this is what we call Khadins, Johats in different parts of this Rajasthan state. Okay, and next we have these different methods of rainwater harvesting, this rooftop rainwater harvesting. In this case, here rainwater is collected at the top of the roof, then it is carried downward, then it is filtered, and it is recharged in a hand pump. It can be stored in a underground tank also, okay, we will discuss about that. And the rainwater again can be recharged in a duck well also. But here in Rajasthan, see, in Rajasthan, this in the semi-arid and arid regions of Rajasthan, particularly in Bikaner, Phalodi, and Barma, almost all the houses traditionally had underground tank or tankas for storing drinking water. See, here rainwater is collected on the top of the roof. It is carried down, then filtered, and after that in the underground, here just below the house, they constructed a tank, what we call underground tank or tankas in Rajasthan, and the rainwater is stored there. Okay, and see, some of the tanks are very, very large, okay, as large as a big room, and one household in Phalodi had a tank that was 6.1 meters deep, 4.27 meters long, 2.44 meters wide. Very big one. And so what is the advantage of this keeping an underground tank is that actually when there is no water, see here, the rainwater can be stored in the tankas till the next rainfall, making it an extremely reliable source of drinking water when all other sources are dried up. Okay, when all other water sources are not there, they can use the water in the tankas. This is one of the advantages. And another one is that see, many houses constructed underground rooms adjoining the tanka to beat the summer heat, as it would keep the room cool. So when we construct underground tank, okay, see, this is the, let us say this is the house, okay, and this is the house, and here, see, if we keep a tank, water tank here in the underground, then this water in the tank will cool down the room. Okay, that is the point mentioned here. Will beat the summer heat. The water will make the room cool. That is another advantage. And in Rajasthan, rainwater is known as Palar Pani, and it is considered the purest form of natural water in Rajasthan. Okay, and one information here, rooftop rainwater harvesting is the most common practice in Shillong in Meghalaya. Okay, any question from your side? Any question about rainwater harvesting?
No, sir.
Okay, then let us proceed. See, in different parts of India, maybe in the villages or maybe in the urban areas, this rooftop rainwater harvesting, that is collection of water, rainwater from the rooftop and storing in the underground or in a tank, or maybe in a well, is being successfully adopted, okay, to store and conserve water. One best example is given here, Gendathur. Okay, Gendathur is a small backward village in Mysuru in Karnataka. Okay, and there, see, every household has a provision of this rooftop rainwater harvesting. Every household. And so we have around 200 households in Gendathur. And see, here in Gendathur, the annual precipitation is of 1000 millimeter. That is only 100 centimeter. Okay, and with 80% of collection efficiency and of about 10 fillings, every house can collect and use about 50,000 liters of water annually. So in Gendathur, a household can collect rainwater, okay, about 50,000 liters of rainwater. In Gendathur, a household can collect 50,000 liters of rainwater in a year. So if we multiply, okay, this with the household, then see, from the 200 houses, the net amount of rainwater harvested annually amounts to 1 lakh liters. Okay, and so this is just an example. And here this photograph is an example of underground tank in Rajasthan. See here, this pipe, say, from the rooftop pipe is carried down and it is stored in the underground. Okay, it is known as Tanka in Rajasthan. Then another information here, Tamil Nadu is the first state in India which has made rooftop rainwater harvesting structure compulsory to all the houses across the state. So Tamil Nadu has a legal provision, okay, to punish those households which do not have the provision of rainwater harvesting. That means every household must have a structure to store, to collect and store rainwater. Okay, so this is an important information. And there are legal provisions to punish the defaulters. Those who are not following the rule, they will be punished. And the last one is about bamboo drip irrigation system. That is a 200 years old system of tapping stream and spring water by using bamboo pipes. So this is an example in Meghalaya, but not only in Meghalaya, it is also practiced in different hills of Northeast India. Even in the hills of Manipur also, about 10-20 years back, it was practiced. But nowadays, instead of these bamboo pipes, we are using polythene pipe, PVC pipe for carrying water from the rivers. Okay. So these are the different ways. So these are the photographs. Okay, one is here, carrying down, then it is diverted. So it is the way how they are carrying water. So here, this is another one. So they are also carrying like this. In the mid-year also they are carrying water. And so this is another scene. So this is another scene. And ultimately this will reach the village, or this will reach the agricultural field. Okay, and so up to here for today. Any question from your side? Any question?
No, sir. Sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, then thank you very much for joining my class. As
Thank you,
usual,
sir.
please leave your name in the WhatsApp group, okay, so that I can take attendance. Thank you very much for joining my class.
Thank you very much for taking our class.